And we're back for the second part of Act 7. We start off at the GP, yes, the GP, Nürburgring Circuit. Not serpent. It's not a snake. I don't know why my English just suddenly failed there, but it did, and it was kind of embarrassing. Something that's kind of crossed my mind as I was just thinking just now. Then we have like a whole origin story behind why that is that and why he isn't anymore and all that stuff. Like how he got the powers, why he uses them the way he does, and it's been fleshed out rather well why he does this stuff. But Carbon, aka the organizer, you don't have this sort of same storyline for him. He's just sort of here. I mean, it's a storyline, but it's nothing beyond he brought all of these people here and gave them random cars. I guess he must somehow know about like their pasts in different universes because he knows like the certain kinds of cars that certain characters like. Are we doing a little dance here? Oh, Alex had Pole, Bubbles, or Blossom and Bubbles just behind, and Rigor Motor was also there. Let's see if Byrne can prove himself as still competitive in this environment, because he hasn't done too much recently, if I'm honest. Probably shouldn't be looking for... Really shouldn't be looking on Facebook right now. That Byrne's being passed by Falcon already. It's ironic because I'm just looking at Madison's Facebook page. Buttercup got the bad end of the stick here, which is probably not a terrible thing. She does kind of need a bit of a... She needs to face some challenges here. She can't just keep being gifted wins, even though her sisters are 1 and 2 right now, and she won't be able to be with them here. Alex is creating what will probably end up being yet another train of cars, as he's good for doing that in this act so far. Byrne, I know your car is not that bad. Stop being lazy. Unless you really don't care about this, but come on, you at least have Alex to beat. Like, seriously, it's not like you don't have a reason to race fast. You have opponents that you actually know, like Alex or XD3, and... Well, actually, no, you don't really know Rigor Motor very well, either. Just kind of Alex and XD3, he doesn't really know anyone else here. Now, this is Raceman, but he's only known him since Turbo Racing. Buttercup just, like, threw it around the outside of Carbon there. That just sort of worked. And this is what will happen when the Powerpuff Girls get a track that's suitable for their car. And start near the front. Buttercup probably might gain a few spots as well. If she's as good at driving this car here as her sisters are proving to be. But Carbon's not really a fan of letting her do that, so... And that's everyone else. They're just lining up to get around Burn right now. It's just sort of falling apart, it seems. Rigor Motor still following right on Alex's heels. And yeah, Alex is slowly beginning to form what'll end up being like a 9-car train. If not more than that. Yeah, it's like 10 right now. There's Carbon. Back for round 2, I guess. Or would this be round 3? I guess it would have been round 3, but it didn't go very far, so... Nice cornering. And Mortimer will just take that now. Bubble's just minusculely faster than her sister, and when Blossom takes corners like that, maybe that's not a surprise, but there's a lot of cars in that one area, and I was really like wondering if someone had like hit someone there or not. I guess the best way to know is check on Carbon, see if he has damage to his car, which he doesn't. Because it seems like Carbon and Burn are the two that are the most likely to do that. Buttercup does the same take the outside approach that she did before on Carbon, now she does it to Beat instead. Try as she may, but I find it incredibly unlikely that we'll have a Powerpuff Girl podium. The stars would have to align like perfectly for that to happen in this act. Or I just give them really overpowered cars, like put Act 1 drivers in and then just have their 3 KTMs. That would probably win, but heck, even that still might not win, because the Cobra that Captain Falcon is in, as well as Burn's car and Alex's car, were Act 1 as well, so... Yeah, it's not impossible, of course, but it would just take a lot of luck. Burn's still 5th, despite the odds. I would say he's a defensive driver. He is most definitely not. Burn! Oh. I was literally watching you do that. Maniac! Oh. Buttercup once again being pressured through that section. Literally mimicked her fight with Carbon, now with not Carbon. That's a wall XT3. Those are not good for cars. Fun fact. Buttercup will now try to pass you? Question mark? Does she have the speed to do that? The answer is no, and XT3 never runs into Falcon, which throws him off, and then Buttercup will do that instead. Though, she doesn't stay there, because she doesn't get the good run out of the corner. Rigor Motor found sudden momentum, and just passed Alex around the outside, with a little collision to boot. Oh, this is interesting. We're still too wide. The beach is like nonchalant, just wait for this to end at some point. Assuming it'll end at some point. It's not ending, or ended at this point, with Carbon encountering a random curb. Who put that there, right? So XT3 did finally pass Falcon. And Mortimer is aggressing upon Burn. Plays his cards right. X3 can probably take 2 here with any stroke of luck. Stroke of luck or lack of it from the other two. Mortimer uses that extra power. Nearly smacks into Burn, puts him in the grass. I don't think he'll like that maneuver. You don't need that cone there. What did I just see there? Buttercup is still not close enough to pass Falcon out of the chicane. And she definitely won't be able to do it now, because not only is that not a great line, but she's, Captain Falcon's in one of the faster cars here. Though he is being forced to take a different line because he wants to pass XT3. I can just watch her for a see how this goes, because she'll get a good view of it. You know, she just kind of just like opens the door and like gives Carbon like a warm invitation to try and pass her. Unless she really knew what she was doing, she was just staying out of his way, which may not be the worst approach ever. Here comes Buttercup now trying to get around Falcon, which she will now do. He must have really thrown himself off trying to pass XT3, and that's the only reason she got that allowance. XT3 is now past Burn. And of course, Burn has probably seen red. Must have just seen the taillights or something. And if Burn enters, you know, starts doing Burn things, this could be an opportunity for Buttercup. She, chickens out of trying that pass, I guess. I think she knew she was weak here, so she knew the last thing she should be trying is to pass someone to do it. Whoa, whoa, XE3 tries to get a little aggressive with Mortimer up there. XE3 will not complete that pass unless Mortimer does that, which obviously he did. That actually made it harder to make the pass. So Blossom wins, Bubbles just second behind her sister, and then it's another 33 seconds to Rigor Motor. I almost called him Widowmaker. I've been playing too much Overwatch lately. Buttercup with some damage limitation. And still leading the points by just 3 over Rigor Motor and 5 over her sister Bubbles. Blossom definitely needed that win because she'd only had 3 points up to that point. Points. Can I get like a good editor to just put now loading from Sonic 06 over that? Like the now loading thing in the corner. Get some flames! Mortimer is on pole. This is interesting. This is a top speed track, but I don't know who really has the top speed advantage. As far as the top, like, 6 goes, it might be Madison. It's either her or it's Mortimer. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now that it's Mortimer because of how far away he got out of the first corner alone. Bubbles with the... That's not usually a place you want to try and pass anybody. I don't care how much slower they are than you. You don't pass up that corner normally. The noisiest of Mercedes is behind Madison. Well, it definitely wasn't Madison with top speed advantage, that's for sure. Ah. Well, Bubbles has already made, like, all of the ground that Mortimer got, like, right up. Imagine being in a burn right now. I'm just seeing... Oh, I can actually see his mirrors. I change to the cockpit camera. This cockpit camera. Well, you don't really see it from here. But... You see those 3 cars... Oh, because you can see the mirrors in this car, it doesn't give you the mirror attachment. Holy crap, those brakes! Oh my god, what are those burn? Buttercup has already gained 3 or 2, working on 3 positions in the first lap. Blossom was also gained... No, she lost one, actually. I think, I don't know who is ahead of her. Oh, Carbon gained 2 spots. And working on the 3rd with Alex. Alex had a rough first lap here. He went from 4th to 8th. Blossom also passed Raceman as well. That's weird. This car is from an Austrian manufacturer, yet it's actually showing the speedometer in miles an hour, not kilometers, which is what I would have expected. Buttercup isn't already trying that, right? No. Well, I mean, she was trying it, but, like, now Carbon's there, so... Can't really do that easily when someone decides to also try and pass you at the same time. So Buttercup has an extra mirror. Mortimer doesn't. Bubbles, therefore, does. Rigor Motor doesn't. Burn does. Madison doesn't. Carbon doesn't. Alex does. Raceman does not. Falcon doesn't, which surprises me. Oh, look, there's the mirrors right there. I see. XT3 does, or doesn't have that. Deliverer doesn't, or no, doesn't. I do not, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess Beat doesn't either. No. Bubbles has yet to find a chance to get past the theme park guy. One amusement boy. This will be interesting. Blossom doesn't have anywhere to go, and if she does think she has somewhere to go, then she's nuts. And honestly wrong as well. Just why she didn't go anywhere. And just kind of sat there and waited. Like a smart person should do in that situation. Buttercup suddenly realizes, oh, I could pass here, and then just like, no! Doesn't actually finish it though, because she took too long getting on the throttle because of her unusual plan of attack, which was, I can attack now, let me attack. It was like that moment in like one of those like crazier games where the boss has to expose its weak point before you can damage it. And that was like the inner moment of just like the boss exposed the weak area, and Buttercup was like, give me that! Awesome, also passed Burn. Our veterans maybe aren't doing too well here. Again, part of it was too, they weren't really necessarily supposed to do amazingly well. Although, except for XD3, and to a degree Raceman, but I haven't done him too much justice either, as he's sitting in 12th. Raceman is not 13th, actually. Bubbles tried to get around Mortimer in a very unusual spot. Buttercup is still stuck on Madison. Lawson, well, I mean, just got to Carbon. I didn't really expect her to have a plan of attack yet. Could be the bus stop, which is the name for the tight right-left corner, the final corner of the course. Or corners. Some people consider it one, others two. Those who say it's only one say it's because it's only one braking zone. Otherwise, let's say two, is because you're moving the wheel in both directions, which, I mean, that's kind of the more logical one, if you ask me. I think it's because, Rigor Motor past Bubbles now. This isn't really what Buttercup wants at all, even though she isn't doing terrible. But Rigor Motor scoring more points is not what she wants, because that means Rigor Motor is likely to take the championship lead here. Buttercup is now, maybe, no, she's backing out again. Buttercup, you have to do it at some point. You can't just sit here and wait. Cannot wait forever. I feel like a lot of people would know that you can't wait for very long to do anything, because you never wait I say in real life, really? You never wait in the show for anything. Why would you be waiting now? We have a fight for the lead, but because of the way that their cars are like balanced with each other, like Rigor Motor has the top speed bonus, Bubbles the handling bonus, but Mortimer's right in the middle, and he has the lead, so he can kind of control the race from the lead. I don't really foresee any of these three changing spots again, unless something like someone tries something crazy and either it works or they get punished for it. Which is exactly what Rigor Motor has done, trying to pass there, when they didn't have even close enough momentum for that. But Bubbles also messed up that corner, so nothing happens. I assume Buttercup still has not, nope, still ain't passed Madison yet, and I'm beginning to think she won't anytime in the remainder of this race. Madison is not, no, Madison's ahead of it. Blossom and Carbon have also caught this group, so maybe if Madison, this isn't Madison! If Blossom can pass Carbon, she can maybe help her sister as like a decoy, maybe? I don't know how necessarily she would help her, but I'm sure Blossom will find a way. And we have the battle for the lead. Rigor Motor really wants this win. And with braking like that, I think he just got it, and forcing Mortimer over the off the side as well probably helped a little. Rigor Mortimer. Alright, that's a ship name there. Blossom does finally get around Carbon, but is it going to be for long enough? As we begin the final lap. I think if she can just get to the end of the big straightaway up this hill here, I don't really think Carbon has too many remaining opportunities to pass her. Alex has not been doing great here. And Raceman's been doing worse yet. Okay, there was no point in shifting there, but Carbon doesn't have the top speed I thought he did, and I think that may have been his last chance. Only thing that could possibly happen is if Buttercup and Blossom really mess with Madison's plan of attack into a corner. That's about the only way I think Carbon can gain any spots, or if, you know, it's the other way around, and what Madison does causes one of the other two to lose where they want to be on the track. Like, kind of that would be a good prime example of what I mean. Actually just kind of parked on that outside curb for a moment, trying to keep the car from spinning, and Blossom just had to stop. Did anything else, I don't think she could turn sharp enough. Plus, locking your brakes will not help you at all. But Blossom probably couldn't turn sharp enough to avoid that, so she would have just smacked into the back of her if she didn't slow down. Rigor Motor is running away. That doesn't surprise me, if I'm honest. He was very hungry for this victory, and, well, he'll have a very good meal in about 30 seconds. Bubbles is threatening Mortimer's second position. If she's allowed to have a nice run through this corner, which I don't really think she has been. She's gonna try anyway. I don't think it'll work. No, Mortimer goes out there to deny her, so... Nope. It'll be third, fourth, possibly fifth for the Powerpuff Girls, though. Yep, that'll be a 3, 4, 5. If this were team-based, that'd be real solid. Alright, well now we're on to race 6. This thing, well... I don't even know why I keep putting this track on the schedules. It's boring to me. I can't imagine it's super thrilling for anyone else if I find it boring. Even though this is actually shaping up to be a decently, like, relatively well-balanced championship, minus a couple of outliers, for example. Well, really the veterans, except for XD3, who has a few good races. But none of the other three seem to really be as competitive as the Powerpuffs, Rigor Motor, and most other cars who can start on the front row can be competitive pretty well, but if your car is kind of an older vehicle like the Ferrari GTO or Captain Falcon's Cobra, they're kind of already at a disadvantage just from the green light. They don't have the same handling capabilities, even if their cars usually are a tiny bit more powerful, except for the Countach, but the Cobra being the outstanding example here of just like, well, there's a reason that was so fast in Act 2. A lot of speed for the cars it's racing against, but it doesn't have the handling that you really want. Rigor Motor is on pole. This is not how you do this. Bubbles needs a really good getaway to maybe smack him into turn 1, and that'd be the only hope of winning the race. But Bubbles is a little wimp and backs out of that, so I think the race is already, well, when Rigor Motor just kind of ignores she's there, this race may already be set in stone. Which, I'm sure Raceman wouldn't have too many complaints. 5th place. Alright, Falcon. Take more of the road, why don't you? Yeah, I made this 4 laps for a reason. We'll have a short episode, a little bit, but I don't think anyone's complaining when these are usually over 45 minutes. And this will be like dead on that. It'll actually be like 40. And, well, you know, I don't know where I was going with that, but the point is, it'll be a short episode, but, sitting down for upwards to an hour can be difficult on someone like Keyblade who has a busier schedule than me. Start daydreaming for a second. Bubbles is still there. Doesn't surprise me, but she is, and I don't know. It would take something interesting to get her to wedge Rigor Motor out of his prime place here. She doesn't have the speed to do it. She have to do it with cornering ability. But you mean, if any car is to do that, it would be this one. Just like, you can't really do that here, and especially not when you're doing that. Sometimes his AI get a little bit wishful when it comes to, like, passes that they plan out. Like, it should be obvious that that's not going to go at all how you think it will. You know, good on paper and all that, like, they made that term for a reason. And, Bubbles could probably spit on Rigor Motor's car right about now, but she cannot pass it. And all the while, if she does get up there and start fighting Rigor Motor, all that probably really does is benefit Carbon, who's only about 3 seconds away from these two. All he really needs is like one lap of these two fighting, and he'll be like competing for the win. Buttercup is also on a hard charge, so maybe if she gets there in time, she can help Bubbles dislodge the motor. She's now up to 5th place. Falcon is within her sights. That's definitely a reasonable distance to gain, especially given how much faster I feel like she is than Falcon on a lap basis. 57.2, that's a 58.3. 55.6, yeah. Just a wee bit faster, and then figure 2, she had to pass Racecam and Burn and probably Mortimer as well during that lap. Mortimer might have been on the first lap, I don't know. Of course I wasn't watching, I can't see 15 people at once. I can only watch one at one time. Bubble is just right on top of Rigor Motor, so I don't think she could be any closer. But this track, this doesn't provide passing zones. Unless you have a car that's way better in one way or another than the other one. And then still breaks even with the other one. And the other type. Or in other ways, rather. That was a mess of English there. Buttercup is now heavily pressuring the F-Zero pilot. This is definitely a KTM track, and I feel like if Bubbles were on pole, or if any of the girls were on pole, they would be almost unchallenged in this race. This is almost entirely meant for vehicles with good handling, except for that straightaway. If we weren't there, I feel like Bubbles would be long in the lead by now. But she's slower on a straight line than Rigor Motor is. By a little bit, but it's enough. And now she has to get feisty here, otherwise she's just gonna sit here in second. Buttercup definitely cannot try and pass Falcon from here. Well, that's definitely exactly what Blossom wants to come up to. Her next two targets just already fighting each other. Nice Pepsi Max billboards, I saw that. Bubbles still not able to dislodge him. I've seen passes there a couple of times. I don't think it's been in this series, but I've seen it happen in those two turns. But it takes a driver with a lot of bravado, and Bubbles severely lacks that one. That would definitely be Buttercup. Maybe probably Blossom as well, but Bubbles doesn't have it in her. Here's like the other place you can maybe pass, but it's very difficult. And especially when you're that far away from your rival, and you definitely can't dive it. Yep. Rigor Motor wins the second race in a row. I don't think Buttercup can get around Falcon either. If she hadn't let off or tapped the brakes there, she might have been able to get a run on him down the straightaway, but it's like you saw that she thought she had a run, but she definitely didn't. Oh, I did not score. Son of a... And there we go. Alex with a very difficult race. X3 could have passed his rival had he had another corner to go, but unfortunately that's what the starting line just happens to be. So here are your points. Now Rigor Motor is in the lead by 10 points, as opposed to Buttercup, who was ahead by 10 at the end of the first episode. So now Buttercup is actually 13 behind him. It's a three-way tie for last in points, and also it's a tie for fourth in points. Quite hard for us to tell me this isn't decently close, especially if Rigor Motor can not start on the pole or close to it in the next race. Definitely closer, even though it's been mostly Powerpuffs and Rigor Motor, and the points do reflect that, but everything from below there does kind of show how close the rest of the cars are. Plus, again, it is down to starting grid spots. Blossom hasn't been getting too many great ones. And some of the cars that are up here that are higher, like Burn, who isn't even that high, or Alex, or like Mortimer, they're getting those points mostly off of their starting grid spots and not much else.